Hi everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I'm going to be reacting to one of the most amazing pieces of history. Now, I say piece of history because we're going to be traveling back in time. The farthest that we traveled back in time on this channel was I believe it was 1964 with A Charlie Brown Christmas. Let me Sorry, I just wanted to readjust myself. I know it seems a little crazy. It seems a little weird that I'm doing it on camera, but I just wanted to readjust myself for a bit. So, as I was saying, we're going to be traveling back in time. Okay, a little bit farther than 1966. Today we're going to be traveling all the way back to 1937. The reason why I say 1937 is because of the fact that in 1937 we witnessed a piece of history that Disney himself created, helped to make one of the biggest things of all time. And honestly, this is one of the biggest things out of this movie. And I'm gonna look up the exact date. When this movie opened up to the public on February 4th, 1938, but premiered on December 21st, 1937, this was a big deal, especially because this is regarded as the first full-length featured animated movie. And honestly, this movie was one of the greatest of all times. It's been named amongst the 100 greatest American films, and it's named as the greatest American animated movie of all time. And that was in 2008. This movie helped set so much history and time into one of the biggest things. It helped because I feel like what jump started it was Steamboat Willie back in 1928. And which movie I'm referring to, you might have guessed by the title and by the thumbnail, and even by the background, is none other than Walt Disney's animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The reason why I'm doing this is because that I have not seen Snow White in almost 15 years. The last time I saw it was back in 2009, 2010. So it's been almost 16 years, actually, realistically. And honestly, I can't believe it's been about 16 years the last time that I saw Snow White. Now, a little story. The reason why I honestly love Snow White, and this is one of my favorite animated movies, is because why I had so many memories with it. When the Diamond Edition collection came out for Disney's Blu-ray line, this was the first Blu-ray movie I ever got. I think it was a family member who bought this for me, and I never saw Snow White when I was 9 or 10. And when I finally watched it for the first time, I absolutely fell in love with this movie, especially because what I didn't realize was Snow White was an operatic singer. She's an operatic singer, and she was so different, and I give that to Adriana Caselotti. Adriana Caselotti was the voice actress for Snow White and her singing voice, and she brought on this beautiful, beautiful aspect to Snow White. And I don't think that it would have been the same if she wasn't Snow White. It would not have been the same movie. It would have not have had the same imagery on Snow White. And she did an incredible job on creating, or at least making, Snow White her own. And Disney helped to envision that. And I want to just give also a little bit of recognition, well, actually, not a little bit, but complete recognition to Walt Disney himself, as he was an innovator. He was literally the engineer of imagination. He was literally the Imagineer, the first Imagineer to create some of the most incredible things of all time. And I honestly feel like I would love to revisit, because I watched the Imagineering story. I've watched Behind the Attraction. I would love to react to those again. I watched them with my grandma, and and she loved watching the history of the Disney parks and also the history of Disney. I would love to watch some documentaries on here and getting to at least unveil and at least feel a couple of things that I felt before. And I think this would be so great. I've also thought about doing some certain months where I only do certain things for different months. Anime April will be coming up. In May, it's going to be for Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch. For June, I think I'm going to make it officially Disney month. I feel. Um, and I'm honestly really excited. I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm thinking along the lines, maybe doing Hamilton for 4th of July. If you guys are interested, I don't know how I'm going to do it, especially because um, I'm scared about that one because of copyright reasons, but I think I will do it. I'll try to do it for 4th of July. But tying it back to Snow White, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm getting prepared for the live action reimagining slash remake that's coming up March 21st, 2025. I know a lot of people are very, very unsure about the upcoming Snow White. And I'll be realistic, I'm unsure about it myself. I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, I know that there's controversy regarding Rachel Zelger and with Gal Gadot, with the dwarves, with the story, but I want to give this movie a fair shot. I'm going to go in without having any biased opinions about Rachel, about Gal, about the dwarves, about CGI, about the story. And look, Gal Gadot, I love her as Wonder Woman. I love her as Giselle in the Fast and the Furious franchise. I have nothing against Gal Gadot. Okay, I don't. I don't have anything against Rachel Zelger for the time being because I honestly, realistically, do not know both sides. I don't know every side of the stories. So please give me some context about the whole controversy about the new Snow White remake. I would like to know, at least so I could at least get an understanding as to why there's so much controversy around the new one. I know about the dwarfs. I know about the dwarfs controversy, so that one, give me a little bit of a refresher, or at least help me to understand why people are so upset about it. And I really want to give this movie a fair shot. I think I'm going to be watching this movie on Thursday on the 20th after work. So that way, at least I can get my review in the next day and I can have it recorded and everything. Just let me know what I'm going to be getting myself into because I really want to know. I know that I talked a lot. I talked a lot in recognition of Snow White, of the voice actress for Walt Disney. So I think it's fair enough for me to just step away and we're going to travel back in time to 1937. I'm going to be doing two different versions of Snow White. I'm going to be doing the version where it's going to be with the sidebars. So I'm gonna make it look like we're actually back in 1937. So I'm gonna have it to where we're watching this on an old screen TV, and if we're barely getting into color. And I'm also gonna be doing the version where it's 16:9, where you just hear it normally, like if you were just hearing it on YouTube. So with that being said, let's travel back in time to 1937 and enjoy the greatest animated movie of all time right now. Wow, it even says photographed in Technicolor, not filmed. That's crazy to think. Says my sincere appreciation to the members of my staff whose loyalty and creative endeavor made possible this production from Walt Disney. Huh. Wow. Even like a little opening from Walt Disney in some way. Pretty awesome. It's really awesome. He really, really loved his staff apparently. And he seemed like a really humble person in terms of, wanting to show his appreciation, especially from his background and the stuff that he went through as growing up, and then giving the acknowledgement. And here, I'm glad that he did. I wonder what this must have felt back in 1937, 1938, because this movie must have blown people's minds. Also, I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of the music in or the songs in just because of copyright reasons. All right. Once upon a time, there lived a lovely little princess named Snow White. Her vain and wicked stepmother, the queen, feared that someday Snow White's beauty would surpass her own. So she dressed the little princess in rags and forced her to work as a scullery maid. Each day, the vain queen consulted her magic mirror. Magic mirror on the wall! Who is the fairest one of all? And as long as the mirror answered, "You are the fairest one of all," Snow White was safe from the queen's cruel jealousy. Wow. I forgot all about this. Again, this has been 15 to 16 years ago. How did they... Okay, that was pretty nice. The touch of the clouds moving like that in the background like that? That's cool. For 1937, that's pretty amazing.
Slave in the magic mirror, come from the farthest space. Through wind and darkness I summon thee.
Yikes.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Famed is thy beauty, majesty.
Mm.
Behold, a lovely maid I see.
Rags
Rags cannot hide her gentle grace. Alas, she is more fair than thee.
Alas for her. Reveal her name.
Is it Snow White?
Red is the rose, hair black as ebony, skin white as snow.
Ooh. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know what, man? I'm sorry to say this, and if that puts me in this situation where it's like you don't like my opinion, I'm sorry, but look, as God said that we're born from the earth and we die back into the earth, or we return to dust when we die. Look, beauty from outside is not gonna last because we're gonna get old and we're not gonna be able to keep that up for a long time. But the beauty from inside is where it counts. Again, like I said, I'm not going to be able to keep the songs in here. I'll probably do certain scenes that I'm going to have it muted, but not going to be completely having because of copyright reasons. How did they do it with the water? That's incredible. That's so cool. I love it. He just comes in out of nowhere like,
Did I frighten you?
really? Did I frighten you? Bro, you just came in like that. Come on, man. That's like weird. That's like a weird question to ask. Did I frighten you? You're a dude that came walking right in and started singing with her all of a sudden, bruh. I'm sad that they're not going to keep this song in the new remake. Actually, I really am upset about that, and I'm upset that they're not keeping this song in. I understand that they changed the story where I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, that they're trying to make it to where Snow White doesn't depend on the prince, and it's not really like it's a love story, but not completely. I have no idea. Just let me know what the... Did that dove just kiss the prince like that? Okay.
Find some secluded glade where she can pick wildflowers.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Mm-hmm.
And there, my faithful huntsman, you will kill her.
Really?
The penalty if you fail.
Is the penalty death?
Bring back her heart in this.
That's so messed up. What's a little bit more messed up is that we kind of see merchandise with the box like that. And I'm like, if you think about it, that's kind of dark. That's pretty dark on making, like jewelry boxes and stuff like that of a box that was meant to basically have her carved out heart in there? That's gruesome.
Where's your mom and papa? What? Leave your nose. Oh, please don't cry.
Such a sweetheart.
Please.
You know what's crazy about this is like the eyes off of the characters. It gives us so much.
I can't do it. Forgive me. I beg of Your Highness. Forgive me.
I don't understand.
He's mad, jealous of you. She'll stop at nothing. The Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Run away. In the woods, anywhere. Never come back. I'll go.
I'm glad that at least he let her live. I mean, she's only like, what, 13 or 14 years old? Like, why would you go and do that to a young girl like that? Really? Come on, the queen's got some insecurity issues. Ooh, okay. Okay. That's a nice transition that they're doing on this. Ooh, I wonder what this must have felt in 1937. This must have creeped so many people out. Or might have scared people. I mean, if you're in the woods alone, this could definitely happen. Oh! Oh, this is creepy. I mean, I'd be scared myself. I get scared of the dark too. Okay, so her getting scared of the dark at 13 or 14, running off in a situation like that, that's pretty valid. That's a valid reason. And if there's one thing I give the animators is they've always tend to make the animals so sweet looking. Like, you just want to pick them up and hug them.
I don't mean to frighten you, but you don't know what I've been through. And all because I was afraid. I'm so ashamed of the fuss I made.
No, girl, you're fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, come on. You tried. Did they get rid of this song too? They better not have gotten rid of this song. I remember loving this song as a kid. I hope that they didn't get rid of this song in the live action one because I thought this was one of the most beautiful ones out of the movie. I'm sorry, this is making me cry actually because I'm getting memories. I used to watch this movie with my grandma so much. And I would have watched this reaction with her.
You know where I can stay. In the woods somewhere?
Yeah, you'll find a place. You'll find a place, alright. If I'm correct, I believe that when they were animating the animated movies of the day, and I think they still do it to this day, where they actually film the scenes in live action, but they use them as references. If I'm correct. I mean, I did take an animation class that I think that that's what it is. They did explain a little bit about it. Shout out to my old high school or my high school animation teacher, Mr. Wilson. Shout out to him.
No one home?
I love the musical cues that they added to the characters. It's such a nice touch, especially because it is a musical. I think they did an incredible job. The animals are like, "Come on, girl, don't keep scaring us like that. I get it. Like you're not familiar with a lot of this stuff and seeing it at a small scale, but come on, don't scare us like that." Bro, they need to get this area all cleaned up, man. Dust, spider webs. Yikes. Oh. Nope.
Their mother would. Maybe they have no mother.
No, they don't.
Or
Not really.
maybe they'll let me stay.
I mean, by that logic, I can understand. But by today's logic, apparently that's not the case. They'll just think that's breaking and entering. I'm getting so many memories. Once she started, is so many memories just flooding back. I know they're keeping this song in, and I'm so happy they're keeping this song in. I love this one. No, not under the rug.
Not under the...
Sweep it outside. Sweep it outside. Sweep the rest of the dust that you had from underneath the rug away too. Not just that. I love the musical cues out of this song too. Like, it really fits. It's so in sync. I love how in sync this is. The movements, the animation, the sound effects. Really good. Really good. Bro, really? Huh. I mean, I'd be freaked out too. But like, come on. I'm hoping that deer's okay with having the laundry all over its antlers like that. That was great. That was great. Oh, and then it leads us to the next one too, right away. And I'm glad they're keeping this in. But we finally get the dwarves. Yikes. Why you just toss them out like that? Couldn't you use it for like artificial jewelry or something like that for those who couldn't afford it? Come on. What? Dopey, I know that you have a good mind like that, but I mean, come on. Let go. Let go of the bag. Why'd they got a vault that it says? Okay, I'm sorry, but if you're a miner, okay, and you're mining for diamonds and jewels and stuff like that, why do you have a vault that literally has the word vault on a sign above it? And then your key is right outside? Okay, no. I get it. Things were a lot different back in the day, but come on, to today's standards? That's not right! Bro! That is not right! Someone could steal that. No. Have a padlock on there. Don't just rely on a lock like that. Someone could just go and pick the lock. Dude, I'm sorry, but they need a better security system. Oh, come on, help him out, man. That's your way of climbing up. None of the other animals are going to help you out. Bro. Dude, come on.
Children are dumb. Duck, happy, sneezy, dope. Children.
You'd wish that they're children, but they're not. You'll see soon enough that they're not.
I'm a little sleepy.
She did a lot of work. Her and the animals did a lot of work. They all deserve a rest. He's still trying to climb up. Come on, man.
Slip.
Mm-hmm.
Jiminy crickets.
That's gonna be that's gonna be the one of the next ones.
Mark my words, there's trouble going. Till it come an old age. My arms hurt. Gosh, that's a bad sign. What'll we do? Let's sneak up on it. Yes, we'll squeak up, sneak up. Come on, man. Follow me.
I mean, I understand what they feel. I mean, I feel precautious as well. They only gave Dopey a half a pickaxe? Do you guys not trust him with the pickaxe? Jeez, man! Right! Why you tell the door to shush? That was on you, man!
Granny, crooked search everywhere.
You can't even say it. Sheesh, now I can't even say it. Every nook and cranny. It took me a little while to say it. Thanks a lot for me, misjumbling it up! I almost said Crooked Nanny myself.
Chair's been dusted. Our window's been washed.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, webs are missing.
Why are you guys even missing the cobwebs? And the dust?
Steady work afoot.
You mean clean work?
Something's cooking. Smells good.
Mm-hmm.
Might be poison.
But Grumpy's not wrong. He's not wrong on that because especially if somebody's been in your house, there's a possibility that someone might have cooked something that might be poison. Yikes!
You got it. It's coming.
They gotta tie him down for that. They're holding him down. Bro! That's wild. Huh? Are they trying to scare the birds? Are trying to scare him away?
One of us has got to go down and chase it up.
Gotta go up and chase it down. That's what you meant. They're looking at you. They're looking at you, Dopey. No. You cannot run out of this one.
Don't be nervous.
You're nervous. You're the one that's nervous. Stop shaking it so much.
Don't be afraid. We're right behind you.
From a far distance, I have every single right to be afraid. If I was Dopey, I would have said that, and I would have said, "You guys are cowards too. I'm more of a hero than you guys at this point." Look, look. Yikes! You guys always leave him behind. It's your friend. This is why Dopey needs to have a voice. Okay, you cannot be leaving him behind like that. You're getting your own dude. Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? How big is it? Was it a dragon? Has it got horns? Was it fire? Was it drooling? Was it?
Oh. Huh.
He said it's a monster. Sleep in our bed.
He didn't say it was a monster.
Sleeping. How did sleep hurting him? Power nerve off with his head. Break his bone.
Off with its head. Oh, that's an Alice reference. Upcoming reference. There's a lot of references to their upcoming movies at that time. That's crazy to think. You already had 2 phrases already, just from the dwarfs alone, which is that's pretty incredible.
Jiminy crickets. Gee, what a monster. Covers 3 beds. Let's kill it. Before it wakes up, which end do we kill?
Which end? Stop it. They still give Dopey half a pickaxe. And he's not even pointing it the right way! I can understand where they're coming from with this.
What is it?
What do you mean, what is it?
She's beautiful, just like a angel. Angel. She's a female, but all females is poison.
You think everything's poison? Nah.
Water, wicked wiles. I don't know. Let me begin.
You don't even know where they are?
Wake up. She don't belong here no how.
Oh, come on.
Me too.
Thanks a lot, Grumpy. It's your fault. That's your fault. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you do?
Say something to her, will you?
Now don't tell me what you are. Let me in. I know. You're Tug.
Why, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Huh?
You're best.
Oh.
There you go. Pretty evident. Yikes.
Hey, ma'am, that's me, and this is Dopey. He don't talk none. He don't know. He never tried.
What do you mean he doesn't know? Oh.
You must be grumpy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what? Snow White, princess. Well, my dear princess, we're
Bro.
yes, we're and
What?
like a good
Are we getting a fight?
Shut up.
Wow. I was saying why and why at the same time.
If that queen finds her here, she'll swoop down and wreak her vengeance on us.
But she doesn't know her.
She don't, huh? She knows everything. She's full of black magic.
She is.
Even make herself invisible.
But Grumpy has a point, though.
I'll wash and sew and quick and
Yep.
Can you make dapple lumple dap?
I've ever. That's a 6-1 vote. What is it? Okay, soup. Okay. Okay. Bro, how'd you get your head stuck in there? Guys need some better table manners.
supper's not quite ready.
Okay.
It's time to wash.
Wash.
Yeah.
Do there's a catch to it.
That's not a catch.
Why wash? For we ain't going nowhere. Do you?
Wait a minute. What?
Washed.
Perhaps we. Yes. Perhaps we have.
But when?
Yeah. When? When?
Why? Last week. Why? Recent.
You said last week.
Let me see your hand.
Oh, she gotcha. She gotcha. She got you at 4K, bruh! Before 4K was invented!
March straight outside and wash.
Mm-hmm.
You'll not get a bite to eat.
She's right! It's called hygiene! They're like little kids! That's crazy. Dopey just like going along with everything. Sheesh. You gotta do it too, Grumpy.
Well, aren't you going to wash?
Yeah, aren't you?
Cat got your tongue? Did you hurt yourself?
Hurt his pride.
Women.
What do you mean, women? Come on, stop it.
Gosh, it's wet.
Nah, really?
It's cold, too.
Nah, really?
Do it, are we?
Yes?
Her wiles are beginning to work. But I'm telling you, give them an inch, and they'll walk all over you.
Oh, come on. Have you had some... Yeah. Have you had some bad experience with women, Grumpy, or is it because you can't get a woman to actually love you for you? Because of your attitude problem. Come on. That's a good song for young kids, especially if they're needing to learn how to.
I'd like to see anybody make me wash if it isn't water.
They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him. Regardless of anything, they're gonna get him. They're approaching this like if this is a football game. They're going 25, 37, 16, hut! No, this is wild. See? They're tackling him like it's a football game. Oh, back to this old witch. Yikes. What kind of harebrained scheme is she coming up with?
Magic mirror on the wall. Who now is...
Yep. You wish.
Huntsman has brought me proof. Behold her heart.
I'm surprised that they didn't show it in this one.
The heart of a pig you hold in your hand.
Oh, no.
The heart of a pig. And I've been tricked.
Yikes! Ooh, you know, the way the animation was on her cape like that, that's some impressive work. That's a pretty good flow right there.
I'll go myself to the Wolf's cottage in a disguise so complete no one will ever suspect.
Mm-hmm. Yikes.
A formula to transform my beauty into ugliness. Change
Wait a minute.
queenly raiment to a peddler's cloak.
Wait, you said you're gonna use a potion to go and hide your beautiness or your beauty into ugly? Okay, you know what, man? That's not true. You're just bringing your ugly outside. What beauty did you have on the outside? That's not beautiful. That's ugly inside and out. No, there's no magic spell on this one. That's more just bringing your inner ugliness outside. The way they did a spin on the room like that, though, was pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. This is cool. Oh, wow! The way that they even showed the lightning and showing her bones, too, that's crazy.
Perfect disguise.
Ugh.
And now, a special sort of death for one so fair.
Yikes. That I can understand being scared of.
A taste of the poisoned apple, and the victim's eyes will close forever in the sleeping death.
Okay, the poison apple, actually, there's a story I'm going to get to at the end in the discussion part. I'm going to shout out my friend for this one. I'm glad they're keeping this song in the movie for the remake. I am happy about this one. I can't wait to see this scene in live action. Makes me feel like I'm back at that trip again to Disneyland. For this being a dumb song, this has some bars, and also the instrumental's pretty good. Okay, okay, that chord progression was nice. I cannot wait to see this scene in live action. This is gonna be fun. They might make it shorter, but I want to see this scene play out.
Did he say, well, did he steal a kiss?
He was so.
I am upset that they're taking this song out of the remake. This is the most iconic song out of Snow White, and they're taking it out. I'm upset about that. Which is beautiful sounding. I'll admit that.
The princess will sleep in our beds upstairs.
Where will you sleep?
Oh, we'll be quite comfortable down here in a pig's eye. In a pig's eye.
Oh, yo!
You're sure you'll be comfortable?
Oh, very
I hope.
Pleasant dreams.
pleasant.
Oh! Hey! Only one of you guys can.
Those the 7 little men who have been so kind to me and made my dreams come true.
No, No, amen.
Oh yes, and please make Grumpy like me.
Oh, is she praying to God? That's so sweet. I didn't even know that in the that she did that in the when I first saw this. It's like a peaceful area. I'd just be a little nervous, honestly, about what's happening. Ooh, that's creepy.
When she breaks the tender peel to taste the apple pie, a breath will still, a blood congeal. Then I'll be fast in the land.
You'd be the ugliest inside and out in the land.
Victim of sleeping death and be revived by love's first kiss.
Oh.
Love's first kiss. Wow. No fear of that. The dwarf thinks she's
Mm-hmm. That's actually pretty dark and disturbing. The Phantom of the Opera. Without the mask and without the musical aspects and being an opera singer and all these other different things. Bro, that's wild.
Oh, don't forget, my dear, the old queen's a sly one.
Mm-hmm.
Witchcraft. So beware strangers.
Absolutely. That's a good message right there. Always be aware of strangers. Never take anything from strangers. Never go anywhere with strangers. If you find somebody that says that they're friends with your parents or anything, or they're friends of family, never go with them despite that. And even if they are, still be very cautious about them because you have no idea what kind of intentions they actually have.
Now I'm warning you. Don't let nobody or nothing in the house.
Hey, Grumpy, you do care.
Mm-hmm. He does care. But the power of prayer can do. Could soften a person's hardened heart. Ow. But also rightly deserved. Might have had some common sense smacked right into him for that one. Oh, jeez.
A little man will be away, and she'll be on with his own pet. His own pet love woman.
No. Vultures. The birds of death. Okay. Okay. That looks nice. Nicely designed. Ugh. Man, what you doing? I'm getting freaked out too.
Make it pie.
If you don't get off of my screen, I'm gonna throw this pie.
Make the men folks' mouths water.
No, not for me. Not for me, actually.
Like these.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we don't eat artificial food here. We eat organic.
Like to try.
No, ma'am, we would not like to try because that's artificially made. That was not made by God. I can tell that there's some chemicals and there's some ugly preservatives on it. No. We vegan.
My poor heart.
Uh-huh.
Take me into the house and let me rest.
They told you don't bring anybody in.
Please.
Nah. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna listen to what they gotta say. If you want a drink of water, I will give it to you, but you're gonna be outside the house, not inside. Honestly, even if no one with you, like you looking like that, nah. I'm sorry, but nah. I can already tell just by looking at you. You got some evil intentions. I'll be saying, I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to come over here into the house. You're not gonna give me some apples. You're not gonna be able to do any of that because I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna put my foot down saying, nope, nope, nope. There come the animals. And come on, they're trying to tell you something.
And because you've been so good to poor old Granny, share a secret with you.
Oh,
There's
jeez.
no ordinary apple.
No, it's not.
It's a magic wishing apple.
Yeah, it's a magic wishing apple. A magic wishing apple that she made to wish for your death.
And all your dreams come true.
Yeah, right.
Yes, girl.
Nah. I'm sorry, but no. The serpent already tempted Eve with that. I'm not falling for it, okay? I'm not falling for that. We already know how this story goes, but if she approached me with that, I'd say, look, the serpent at the Garden of Eden already attempted Eve with that. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for it either. No. You can take your apple, leave, get out of here. I do not care. Get out. Move on. Vamonos. Get on out. That poor turtle. He's got the bad end of the stick, man.
Something your little heart desires.
Yeah, my heart desires for you to get out.
There is someone.
I thought so. Oh, Granny knows a young girl's heart. Not
Really? You were young once? That's very unbelievable.
I wish.
That's it, go on.
I wish for you to get out. Plain and simple. I wish for you to leave my house. But we all know how the story is going to go, unfortunately.
And that he will carry me away to his castle, where we will live happily ever after.
Don't take a bite.
And I wish for you to get out of this home, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now leave! Mm-mm. No, 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 Ferris. From what? That's not fair at all. How are they going to change this for the movie? Oh, jeez, guys. You guys gotta hurry up! I'm glad that at least all of them are fighting for her. For Snow White. I love the way how they did the lighting effects on the animation on the characters. This is really good. I'm very surprised on how well this was made. I think God's trying to tell you something. Oh no. Well, God told you something. Crushed to death. Mm-hmm. Crushed, fallen to her death, and crushed to death by a boulder. You know, God has a sense of humor for those who are wicked, especially for those who are trying to do evil against his children. That's a good example right off the bat. And look at that. The vultures came to circle around the queen's death. So beautiful, even in death, that the dwarfs could not find it in their hearts to bury her. I wouldn't have found it in my heart to bury her either. They fashioned a coffin of glass and gold and kept eternal vigil at her side. The prince, who had searched far and wide, heard of the maiden who slept in the glass coffin. Oh, okay. And then that's the true love's kiss that's gonna wake her up. First love's kiss. Hmm. Oh, so sweet. Oh. And there she goes to her castle. And they lived happily ever after. Wow. You know what? After watching it as an adult, I'm going to officially say this. This really is amongst the greatest animated movies of all time. All right. Time for me to now go into the discussion part of this. All right, so that was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was back from 1937, and now we're back in 2025. Wow, a lot of memories came flooding back to me, and I'm going to be quick about this because like my camera might die. But I just want to say for the record, honestly, this is beautifully animated. This movie was absolutely beautifully animated. This is something that I definitely would believe to be a worldwide treasure for a time capsule of the past. I mean, this is one of the most beautiful things that I think Walt Disney has ever created. And you know, his early works, his works that he made for early Disney as a company, as a movie studio, were among some of the best things that he's ever created. And honestly, I don't think that any of this would have been possible without him. I think character designs would not have been possible without him. Future character designs would not have been possible without him. And I honestly feel like he set the path to Disney movies in general to follow this path to make people feel like there are such things as happy endings. And I know that some people might interpret the ending of Snow White as kind of like, instead of it being like the prince wakes her up with, first love's kiss, but instead of when they're walking and they see when they see that castle up in the sky, it's like, because you can kind of interpret it in a way of like, she did die and she went to heaven. She did everything that she could. She followed God. She did the best that she could on serving her people in some way, even when, in her rags, and that God saw her heart, and she was serving to the dwarves, like how in the Bible it says for us to serve to others. And I think that it could be a one metaphorical way that you could be able to interpret it. But if you're looking at it from a literal standpoint, yeah, she did get waken up, and the prince did wake her up, and I am glad that it did happen. But I do feel like overall, I think that this movie really hit it on the head on being marked as one of the most amazing and one of the best, if not the best, animated movie of all time. This set a lot of records, and this set a lot of ideas to being played into motion, and you can definitely see where the animators and the writers and the directors working for Disney at the time when he was alive, you really saw his trademarks and their trademarks throughout the rest of these animated movies, such as Dumbo and Bambi and Pinocchio, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. The list goes on. And then even past Disney's untimely death, I feel like even when quoting the words of Hamilton, who lives, who dies, and who tells your story. And luckily, people were wanting to carry Disney's legacy on and for a long time, and luckily they did, to the point that, yeah, I understand that maybe people have felt like Disney lost its magic over time, and I can understand. But honestly, if you think about it, even despite Disney movies these days might not having that same sparkle as they did before, you can honestly admit to the point where, yeah, Disney movies still have that sparkle. They still have that nice touch, despite the fact that they don't provide the same magical feel as before. But there are Disney movies, modern ones, especially in the Renaissance era and in the golden, and especially in the modern era, that you can feel that Disney magic. In my opinion, some of the best ones in the modern era that you could feel that Disney magic is definitely Tangled, is one of my all-time favorites. Tangled is one of them that I feel like it captures that essence and that the spirit of Disney animated movies in the 3D animated world. Same thing with Wreck-It Ralph, same thing with Big Hero 6, and even Frozen, and even with Zootopia, I could even feel it. One of the ones that I definitely know that I could even feel it is definitely Wish. And I know that I haven't even gotten to getting that up yet. And it's been almost a year since I've recorded my reaction for Wish. And I really want to get it up in time before the end of this month. And I feel like I will. I just need to get to it. But I'm doing Daredevil Born Again. And that's going to be taking a little bit of time. And because there's a lot of editing that I have to do with it. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. But in terms of how everything goes, I really feel like going back to Snow White as a movie and as a cultural phenomenon for the world for multiple generations, I think that Snow White is one of the more, it's a dark story if you think about it from in context of how the story is set up, and how, it's kind of like us feeling like if we are very self-conscious of ourselves, and there is jealousy when it comes to us looking at other people. But the thing is that there was a reason why Snow White looked more beautiful than the Evil Queen, because the Evil Queen relied on magic and on unfortunately dark magic to make herself try to be able to convince herself, especially because of the way how the mirror was saying that Snow White was the first one. The queen had to rely on the enemy, realistically, to go and perceive herself as beautiful. She wanted to get rid and snuff out the light that was Snow White. And, I was like, I believe that Snow White was a Christian. I mean, she was praying to God during that one scene. And I do believe that, you could represent her as a follower of God in some degree. And that, that's like the enemy, how he works and how he goes and he tries to snuff out the lights. But It's like in the Bible where it says, that the Lord is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And Snow White was definitely a light onto multiple people's paths. I mean, she went and she changed a lot of the perspectives amongst the dwarfs, and then even had the time to be able to bring a beautiful type of presence to their lives, especially because that God was using her as an instrument, to try to at least get for them to live a different life and live a better one for themselves, a more organized one. And I honestly feel like that's what God wants for us to do, is that He wants for us to be able to live that same exact life. He wants for us to be able to have a life where we could be able to. I'm sorry, I'm actually a little tired myself. But He wants for us to be able to serve others. He wants for us to be able to take that initiative, and He wants for us to be able to do it in a way where we're not only just doing it for, them, but we're showing God's love to others. And this is definitely a beautiful way on doing so and perceiving that. Because without God, honestly, we're all lost. We're all completely lost, and there's no way on earth that we could be able to navigate through life without Him. And I feel like with a story like Snow White, especially because she was the fairest of them all. She had that beauty inside and out. And because she had God in her heart and she had a good heart towards others, she forgave people even when they did stuff to her. She forgave the hunter. I know that she did. Despite, the evil queen sending him to go and kill her over in the forest, just so that way the evil queen could feel better about herself. I mean, honestly, that's just ridiculous that somebody would have to go that far to make themselves feel like they're the fairest or the most beautiful or the most successful. And it's sad that people, unfortunately, today will go and take that path and make it to where, it's about them. They want it to be about them. When Snow White is more of a story that, yes, it's about romance. Yes, it's about her wanting to be able to be united with a prince that she barely even met. And she wants love and she wants to experience it. But, we all of us in general, we want to experience love. And we want to be able to experience it in a way where it feels right, that it feels true. And it feels like, geez, what's going on with me today? I am so drained. But, in the end, it's more of a story that, us as people, we want to feel that. Whether we want to feel it, through agape love or carnal love, or we want to feel it in its entirety to some degree to where, we feel a physical attraction to somebody, or a spiritual or emotional or a mental attraction. It's just that, this is a story that I feel like it's not only just about loving somebody, it's about loving yourself. It's about loving the life that you live and accepting the person who you are. And, Snow White accepted her for herself as the person that she was. She didn't care about, being around in rags and in everything. She didn't care about that. She was humble about it. She felt like this was her time to be able to say to her mind, thinking, God, I know that I'm here and I'm dressed in rags, and my stepmother, the queen, the evil queen, she's trying to rule with an iron fist, and she's trying to rule to a point where she wants to be better than I am. But I'm glad that you put me here in this direction, and you put me here in this path to be able to bring something to somebody and show them that regardless of where I'm at and how I look, you put me here so that way I can show them that there's nothing beyond compare, and that material is just material. But having a good heart towards others and having a mindset that it encourages others to look past the rags and riches of life, and being able to perceive that they can be able to find happiness in the uncomfortable and the unjust and the unworthy of the situation that a person can be in. And that's what I think that this story is. Honestly, the original one, that's what I feel like it is. And I can't wait to see how the new one goes. I know it's going to be a different story. It's going to be amongst the same story, but I want to be able to see how this goes. I want to be able to see what kind of a story this is going to be, and what kind of an individual this version of Snow White's going to be compared to the animated one. And I think it's going to be a fun experience. It's going to be something different, something new, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be fun, even if it doesn't become my favorite one. Like, even if this does not become my favorite story or my favorite, even if this doesn't become my favorite remake, I mean, I think I'm going to enjoy it regardless of anything. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this story goes. We'll see how it's taken, and I want to see where everything's going to end up landing at. And I want for this to succeed as much as a lot of people want for it to succeed, because nobody really wants a movie to flop. They get up in the hype about it, and they end up hating on it for the wrong reasons. So I just want for this movie to succeed as much as possible, and I want for people to be able to enjoy it for a different story that it is, and I can't wait to see what happens. I really can't. So, let's go ahead and take the time to also be able to reflect on the fact that, we could have a difference of opinions about whether we like a remake or not. But I want for people to feel like they could be able to enjoy a movie for what it is, and not take it as a movie where, you can hate upon it for whatever reason. I want for people to enjoy it. I want for them to be able to feel like this is the story that we're going to tell, but we're going to do it to a point where people can enjoy it. I want for people to enjoy it. So let's get together. Let's go see it. Let's have an open mind about it, and let's go from there. But like I said, there was a story about the apple that I want to tell. Shout out to my friend Michael for this one, because he was telling me this story. He was telling me that when over at Disneyland, he was with his family, and he, the evil queen, she comes across, and from what I remember of the story is that he told me that she approached him, and she said, she asked him, it was like something along the lines of, I think you should take a bite out of this apple. This apple was meant for you. And this is a good, delicious apple. And he was like, and he told her, well, if it's that delicious, then why don't you take a bite out of it? And then she goes and says, but this one was especially made for you. And I think that you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy biting into this apple. And then he was like, well, if I'm going to enjoy it, then why don't we share it together? He was just trolling her. He was just trolling her. And I'm like, dude, that's just good. That's perfect. And I I got a story about the evil queen. And it's funny. The last time that I went to Disneyland, which was almost 2 weeks ago, when I went with my mom for my birthday week, it was funny because I was waiting for my mom over in the bathroom over where that Mexican restaurant is. And that little bridge or that little walkway that connects between Frontierland and Fantasyland, that it's right where the Royal Theater is at, which also is something I have not done yet. Next time I go to Disneyland and I go for the whole day, I'm going to do that too. But her and the evil queen of Snow White was coming out of the cast member door. And it was funny because there was a good amount of people, walking through, and they were just resting on the side of the walls and everything. And the evil queen goes and she looks at us that are outside, and she said, I remember her saying, "Oh, these peasants that they're leaning against, that they're right here up against the walls here. These peasants need to be locked up in a dungeon and thrown and have the key thrown away." And she walks off. She walks off. And Snow White She turns around and she mouths. She mouths. Either she mouths or I can't hear her because it's too far away. But I heard the evil queen say it because she was so distinct about it. But I thought either Snow White said or she mouthed out saying, "I am so sorry about that," and she just goes off and leaves. She goes off and leave, and I was about to say that the evil queen was like, "Girl, are you serious?" And I thought it was one of the funniest things because I didn't realize that Michael had a story about that, and it was funny because we both had some sort of an encounter, and it was just hilarious, and I absolutely loved it. And honestly, like I said, this movie has brought so many memories to me, and I wish that my grandmother would have seen this reaction. I think that she would have loved it. I think she would have loved the way how I would be talking about it and just openly talking about how God, was also a big part of my life and also even a part of this movie. And regardless of if you see it or not, he had a big part of this, and you can see it from a Christian standpoint. And I'm glad that I was able to do so. And honestly, with watching it again, this has become one of my all-time favorite Disney movies of all time. It really has. And again, I'm going to keep an open mind about the new live-action reimagined remake. And I can't wait to see it this coming up week and have an open mind about it. And just to get to form my opinions. Again, this reaction I'm hoping will be up sometime soon this week, and then I hope I could be able to get the review, the non-spoiler review for the live action Snow White out this on Friday, and hopefully I could be able to do a revisited reaction to it when it comes out on Disney Plus, so that way I could be able to have a good discussion about it and be able to have my non-spoiler review out and just ready for you guys to be able to hear my thoughts and take it from there. So, with all the talking being done and everything, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my reaction to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you guys want to see more reactions like this, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, I have Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, my Discord server. And if you guys are watching on the Idea Maker for Kids channel, I have Snapchat and Instagram. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next videos. Bye, guys.